Warning. This game's setting revolves around an active Middle East combat zone and contains references to extreme violence, graphic content, and other mature themes. Listener discretion is advised.
The Rancor's Brothel presents.
Want some whiskey in your water, sugar in your tea? What's all these crazy questions they're asking me? The craziest body that could ever be. Don't turn on the lights 'cause I don't wanna see. Mama told me not to come. That ain't the way to have fun, son.
Iconoclasts, a campaign of horrors modern and ancient.
Open up the window, let some air into this room. I think I'm almost choking from the smell of stale perfume and the cigarette you're smoking. Don't scare me half to death. Open up the window, let me catch my breath. Mama told me not to come.
So, the fuck are we doing?
Studying tablets.
It's April 17th. What do you want to do? I would say the other thought, I know you guys talked about moving the narrative ahead. The other thought that I was going to suggest to you, which you could do as well, is if you wanted to assign, you do have 8 characters or whatever it is, you could assign some of those characters to do some more long-term things and then use the remaining 4 characters to do other things as well. I don't know if you talked about that.
Yes.
Yeah, let's figure out, I don't know if we did or not yet already, establish who is doing the tablet research and get them off the table.
I know Hastings is, because she's the one who speaks Akkadian. That is...
That way we at least know who we're working with to do other things.
Kazim.
Yeah, Kazim. We were actually talking about sending him to Greece.
To Greece?
Because he doesn't speak Akkadian. He speaks Greek.
What's in Greece?
Greece. Yeah, I don't remember Greece either.
A big chunk of the Winds Unknown to Adad, isn't it? Or is that the Nicotic manuscripts?
Winds Unknown to Adad are in Baghdad and are in England.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something was in Greece.
I think it was in Italy.
No.
I don't remember Greece. Like, you stumped me with that one. I'm like, why are we going to Greece?
Yeah,
No, because I picked him out because Greek was a thing.
I think it was
Something was in Greece.
originated around Greece, though. Like something that
Or
you
was
were going into
translated
history
into
of
Greek
something.
or something.
I'd like to point out, I said, guys, take it easy on me. And immediately you're pulling out Greece, and I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. So give me a minute.
Yep.
What, you aren't prepared? Jesus.
I think it was just
No,
the
I'm pretty
origins of
sure the
something.
Nicotic manuscripts are somewhere in Italy, not Greece. But let me look.
I remember something about Greece. It may not be that. And there, for some reason, I was thinking we needed to send Kazim there.
When was Passover? In 2016.
That is a connection I did not think about.
I wanted to know if Mossad would talk to us or not.
Oh, no, that's not even what I was thinking.
Would you like to share with the class?
Passover, plagues of Egypt, the taking of the son, or firstborn. Yeah.
You think it has something to do with the Father of War?
I have no idea, but that's just a branch that I hadn't thought about because we're right around Passover.
Jeff is correct. You would know that.
Passover starts April 22nd,
So it hasn't happened
2016.
the Nicotic manuscripts, one of the largest collections of the Nicotic manuscripts are in the National Library of Greece. Ha! For some reason I thought for sure it was Italy.
Good memory, sir.
Old man's memory's
No.
not entirely shot.
It couldn't remember what it remembered, but god damn it, it remembered something.
Greece.
So it is in Athens.
It's because we were talking about the Grease spell last night when we were discussing Baldur's Gate. And that's totally the real reason why. That's hilarious.
So there's our 2 academics.
Okay. So they are for sure then with the tablets.
We also
And-
discussed her teaching at least 2 or 3 other people.
Yeah, either passing down the hypergeometry or, like I said, figuring out what to do with it.
It's fucking magic.
If we're no longer using the buried now.
Just need to find metal trash cans and put it on the underside, and we can just use it as a shield.
I'm wondering why you're not recording. You're nowhere near the mic while you're talking.
Sorry.
God damn it, Dan.
Well, I'm like, why is it not picking him up? He's talking loud enough, and I turn
And
around,
he's
and you're
over-
like, he's looking around the mic. To talk to you.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be why.
So yeah, we may have to make another containment vessel then.
Sadly, I think that Hastings would be the one to teach it to. Her occult is ridiculous.
Well, then Mary will need to go with them.
What's her sanity like, though?
Her sanity is 60. Well, 57 at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
That's down
58.
from 89.
Oh,
89 to 60 was before the game started.
Yeah,
Got ya.
I went 99 to 60 at 58.
Yeah, she has a disorder and everything else.
Got ya.
So,
Well, she did stick her head into the pot of abyss. So
yeah.
oh no, she started with a depersonalization disorder.
Oh, that's right.
An especially traumatic period of research for Delta Green increased your unnatural and occult skill and resulted in your depersonalization disorder. So what is her? She has a 10% in unnatural.
Got ya.
So does Kazim. So we've got the medic. We've got the Jennifer, which has really high human.
and she was the one that reached out to Irene. Correct. So if we're gonna task the CIA, she's gonna be that one.
Yeah. We got Captain Dan.
Which one went to the Peshmerga?
Nasser.
Okay.
Landry did,
Yeah.
I think.
So we got Jennifer for the CIA, Landry for the Peshmerga. What other factions do we want to look into?
I had talked about reaching out to maybe Mossad in Turkey.
That will be complicated.
Why is that?
I'm curious how you're going to get an introduction to the Mossad.
Yeah. I'm just going to call and see if they need a Shabbos goy. What day of the week is it?
I don't know.
April 17th.
April 17th, 2016.
I'm just going to call the Mossad hotline and see if they remember to turn their air conditioning on.
CIA. Set her with academics for now.
The Mossad.
There you go. Let's set Landry off to the side in case we do anything extra. CIA.
It's a Sunday.
All right, what we got? Combat
My
medics,
plan has been
so
foiled.
Refugees. Might be a good take in that.
Oh, I was thinking about it. If we want to have another in with the special operators, we should offer up Hastings to black market those statues for them.
Yeah. We'd also talked about going and investigating the attack sites outside of Mosul.
Oh, yeah, the tank crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could always go look and see if we could investigate where they say the bodies have been showing up in the river.
Yeah, I think Staff Sergeant Jamie Warner would probably be good for that.
Yeah. Then we'd also talked about trying to talk to refugees too, right?
Yeah. If we can get human intelligence coming out of Mosul,
Yeah.
we may be able to confirm the kill on al-Jabiri. We were still looking for information on Daoud, somebody who set up the initial raid on Rassam's, and we were looking for survivors from Rassam's.
Because al-Jabiri was counterintelligence, but the guy who set up the initial thing at Rassam's was a
al-Hizbah, wasn't it?
religious police. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could use his background, al-Rabani's background in NSA for anything.
Did we have any Syrian connects?
Not that I'm remembering.
I couldn't remember if they were an intelligence force.
I don't know. Let me pull up that list.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place.
What's that?
NSA is all over in Snowden's leaked documents of their involvement with the Iraq War or the Mosul Iraq War. So
So what are your thoughts?
thinking that maybe we can use him as a lead in to get some SIGINT for Mosul.
Yeah.
I mean, he obviously would know what was going down, where they were being given his background. So
As a way of tracking
We did.
high priority targets.
Military Intelligence Directorate, Syrian Arab Republic.
I can't remember. Are they allies with us at this point?
Not U.S. ally.
Got it.
MID is a major supporter of the Shia Baptiste. I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing that right. Government during the Syrian civil war. Few Shia are allowed within its ranks. It is a brutal and extreme intelligence group operating with ruthless efficiency. Its two suspected major targets at this time are Israel and ISIL, as Syria makes a play for power in the Middle East. Should I go through more of this list, or...
Are the Turks considered an ally? Sorry, I'm struggling over.
Though Turkey is ostensibly a NATO ally, this group is often closed-fist when dealing with American intelligence.
Yeah, you would not imagine the Turks are going to be super receptive, but not impossible. Inroads would not necessarily be there. So have you split your folks into piles yet?
Yep. We basically know that we have Captain Dan, Staff Sergeant Jamie Warner, and al-Jabiri
Okay.
that are free. These two are potentially could be doing something with their previous connections.
Keep avoiding that microphone.
These people, Major Mary Olson and our intellects are going to be going with the tablets, apparently, because she wants to pass on the hypergeometry knowledge. So
Asayish, Security, Kurdistan Regional Government. If we're looking for human intelligence in the area in and around Mosul, it sounds like they are the ones we should go through. It doesn't say they're not a U.S. ally.
Those are the ones that were trained in 03. Oh, no, those are the Assyrian Christians.
You're going off of whatever I gave you? Or
No.
Okay.
I'm going off your list.
Because my list, I know, came right out of the book. Not that you couldn't find something that's not in the book, but I'd have to do some retooling and thinking.
oh yeah, there's definitely some aspects of the Iraq war that
Is that not the Peshmerga?
Is it?
Yeah.
like one of the factions I'm surprised we haven't ran into are like Russians.
It doesn't mention anything, but I'm sure they're around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the Peshmerga.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the security of Kurdistan regional government. It's the Kurds, the Peshmerga. That's the one we have talked to.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we what do we want to have those 5 guys doing while they're researching?
I think Nasser can potentially go back and talk with the Kurds again.
Yep. Specifically related to anything they've seen with the attacks in Mosul.
I also wonder if we could potentially identify targets, more
not good to just
targets
keep
for the
pounding
CIA.
I
They
think
taste good, though.
that might
do.
be a better. Who had the NSA? I think that might be a better job for him.
Yeah, for SIGIT.
Yeah.
Okay. But I meant potentially pulling that from the intelligence. It's also already on the ground.
If they have it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. You don't know what these factions have and what they don't have.
Yeah.
You got to press them with favors, and
I also don't know that I necessarily have the best understanding of what they need for us to get more help.
The Peshmerga?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly they want us to do.
Yeah. Because you described it like tech.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that part of it is that like you have to realize that you just talked to the Peshmerga 2 days ago. Like you giving that tech was 2 days ago in game.
Oh, I didn't realize it's only been 2 days.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, I mean, because like
I've done a lot of shit in 2 days.
that's what I'm saying. Captain Dan originally talked to Colonel Jeff McGuire on 4/13. So like
We didn't. How did?
Peshmerga talked to you the day before you went to Rassam's.
So 4 days ago.
now it's gone.
5 days ago.
No, not 5 days ago. That was 4/15. You guys did that right before you did the mission to Rassam's. The mission to Rassam's took place on 4/16, which was yesterday. It's 4/17.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Unless they had information to share, it's been like 48 hours. That's one of the reasons why I'm saying you
Got
might
ya.
want to, if you're wanting some of these things to develop, time needs to move. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So then
I mean,
maybe.
shit, you've literally been here for 2 weeks. So some of the shit just has to roll a little bit.
So then maybe him not going back and talking to the Peshmerga again, because there's not necessarily anything new for him to have there.
Just wait and see if something develops. Yeah.
But sending these guys out to investigate the attack site.
I mean, I think we can agree that what they're doing is interpretable. I think we need, all can agree that we need to check with the CIA and see if we have any other open doors there, since we possibly delivered a high level target.
But that may be the same as the Peshmerga. We have to let that develop. I don't know.
She's also high in human and could be talking with refugees and getting on the ground information from people coming out of Mosul.
Does that just want to be our focus for the rest of the group then? Just trying to gather intel from refugees?
Well, I think we can send those guys out to investigate the attack site, especially with combat medics' understanding of, you know what I mean?
Okay. So recon for Captain Dan and Jamie Warner.
And then old SIGINT McGee over here trying to touch base with either NSA contacts to get more SIGINT information, plus more of what's been currently going on.
I didn't pull it from what you gave us, but I did Google it. There are NSA agents embedded within the coalition forces.
Sure.
So
I don't think that that's an unreasonable thing to pursue. So who's doing what? Because I want to start some timers here.
all right. These three.
Olson and the two academics.
Yep. They are working in conjunction with one of the museums. Which one did we decide on? To try to speed up the interpretation of the tablets.
Baghdad, wasn't it?
Baghdad, yeah.
So they're traveling to Baghdad.
Yeah, with the tablets.
So who all is going? So Olson.
Susan Hastings and
Kazim.
Kazim. With Olson and Hastings having the secondary goal of sharing the knowledge of the hypergeometry.
Okay, so let's get Kazim.
I wish there was somebody that could actively talk to about how to use that.
How to use what?
The Elder Sign.
The other thing we might do is get back to that bomb shelter and dig out that satellite phone.
Oh, for his contacts.
Yeah. If there's anybody who's going to be able to tell us more about this, besides just book research.
We have two that are going. So, I mean, that can be a goal of theirs.
So Olson, Hastings, and that's not what I wanted it to do. It auto-corrected Kazim's name. So Olson, Hastings, Kazim head to Baghdad with the tablets. So we'll start there. That's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing.
That's 417. What else?
We have Captain Dan and Staff Sergeant Jamie Warner are going back to Rassam's for recon and going to try to retrieve the satellite phone that was identified in the bunker.
Okay. That is just got right.
See how buried it is.
Dan and who else?
Warner.
Headed to Rassam. Okay. What else? Because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 party members doing things.
Yep. So we have Jennifer and Landry
Yeah.
are going to work the angle with the refugees.
Okay.
Trying to.
So they're off the table. They're going to Baghdad. They'll get there tomorrow. I mean, it's going to travel time. They don't actually get there tomorrow, but they can't really do anything today.
Yep.
We will roll for the two who are. We'll do one with an assist because an assist is what? What is aid in this book? Is
Probably plus 20.
I think it is, but so one of them can roll with an aid to sort of work the crowd if that's what you're trying to do.
Is that a human roll for working the crowd?
Depends on your approach. That would be my suggestion.
Human would be your suggestion?
Yeah, if you're just trying to gather intelligence, human would be a way to go.
So it would be Nasser assisting Jen.
Yeah.
And she would be making a human roll.
Cool.
So I will do that. 68 under 90.
Okay. And what are they really trying to work, per se?
I think we want to.
We wanted to try and get confirmation of information coming out of Mosul.
Well, I mean, Goldmine would be somebody that actually firsthand witnessed an attack.
Well, that and then also confirmation of the kill.
But somebody that laid eyes on this thing, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're looking for basically two things. We want to try and confirm the kill for the CIA if possible.
Sure.
And then 2 more details about the monster.
Okay.
Right? Is that essentially what you're wanting?
How are they going to get that from refugees, though, about the confirmation for the kill?
I would assume that there would be conversations going on about the attack.
Okay.
I think the did you ever find AJ? I don't know if it's in there.
I mean, it's just basically you can give a bonus of a plus 20 or a minus 20, or rarely you can get a plus 40
I
or
was
a
just
minus
curious.
40.
I think you can do that for skill rolls.
So
I'm
you
pretty
can
sure
add
do that.
Yeah.
20 to a skill roll with an aid?
Huh?
Yeah.
Add 20.
And then they just have to succeed at their roll to add that 20 then.
No.
No,
It-
they're just automatic.
Oh.
It adds 20 to your score, not the dice.
Oh, so the aider does not have to roll anything.
Correct.
Interesting.
I was just curious. I didn't know if that was actually in the book or not.
Glancing quickly, I don't see aid.
I can't remember if I just made that up or not.
But I mean, anytime that there's
I like
something
it.
benefiting
Either
you-
way, she passed the score if she hadn't been given the aid.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I couldn't remember if there was an aid or not. Because that doesn't seem like a very Delta Greeny thing. But for some reason, my brain is screaming aid, but it may be because I keep reading all kinds of things and all kinds of systems.
That seems a little buffed.
It does.
20.
That's why I was just curious if there was actually a rule or not, since Jeff has been reading the book. You get a lot of folklore from folks. It's still sort of like Daniel had alluded to. It's still way too early for any of these folks. A lot of these folks were refugees. Like, there's a whole process for them to come into the camps and for people to be watched and security and everything else. So most of the people that you're talking to have been here for at minimum a few days. So there is no intelligence coming through yet. You get a lot of folklore. The human success is clearly that none of the people that you're talking to have seen the thing that you think that they would have seen. You're getting some other shit, some mythology, some talk of demons, some talk of jinn, but you're fairly positive that nothing is going to correlate with what you would expect.
We want to, because the refugees would be heading in the same direction as that river coming out of Mosul. We want to see if we can get them to actually identify or see any of these bodies that we heard about.
As in bring them with us?
Not take the bodies, but just,
no, the refugees.
There is aid during a chase.
Oh, yeah.
They aren't making any headway with the
Yeah, they can definitely
The skill rolls is anytime there is something giving the person making the roll a little bit of an advantage, you give them a 20%.
Yeah, they 100% can do that because she can sat phone the CIA from anywhere.
All right, let's think of something specific that we want to SIG in out of Mosul with his NSA background, because I think he's got the capability to do it if we can get that roll done.
So what are you thinking?
I mean, the confirmation for the kill would be beneficial if we can work an angle with the CIA.
This guy's essentially a hacker as well. That's why he was pulled in for the NSA.
I'm thinking we might be able to get like video footage or something.
Yeah. Trying to dig into the infrastructure and look for operating traffic cams or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we have all the dates and times for the attacks.
Exactly.
So, I mean, we know what to look for.
Yeah.
Hospital records for the survivors of the attacks.
So how is he going to go about doing that? That's the question. And can you do that stuff remotely, not on site?
So the NSA should have the infrastructure already set up to do that. He just needs to make a contact and persuade whoever that contact is from his past history.
Okay. Well, he's got a really shitty persuade.
So maybe not persuade per se.
How about a bureaucracy?
That'd be a 50-50 roll.
Bureaucracy would be running it up sort of the chain of command or utilizing structures that are in place. So if you're asking it circumspectly, bureaucracy may not be what you want to lead.
What about criminology?
Criminology is more the assessment of how to do things illicitly. Like you could argue for that one, I feel like, but I don't think that there's nothing obvious that I would say, yes, criminology works, if that makes sense. If you could take an angle, for sure.
Yeah, if we weren't trying to go through the NSA contact, I think criminology would be a better option. But
or computer science.
And the thing is, if you just want to talk to somebody, that's one thing. You know, if you're going to try and manipulate them, that's a different.
Yeah.
He may just be able to use his contacts with the NSA to get a contact inside of Mosul to allow him to access a certain system. And if he can get the video footage from that with his own SIGIT.
Okay. So which direction are we looking to go? It's more of like making a contact who can get us stuff. Because since I'm in the NSA, at what point am I able to just look into systems myself?
Well, didn't they hand him off though? I think it specifically says like they booted him.
I've spent the last year. So you spent the last year with a super secret Delta Green affiliated task force with JSOC, identifying and tracking high priority targets.
so he's on a joint.
Yeah, you work for the NSA.
Okay,
still.
so he still has access.
Yeah, you probably.
task force.
Like I said, if you want to call up the NSA, like that's a bureaucracy role. If you want to call up the NSA and say, hey, who do we have near Kirkuk? That's probably an easy bureaucracy pass. Now, do you want your bosses to know that you're in Kirkuk? Does that cause you any issues? Does that, then...
Or who do we have tracking data out of Mosul?
Like I said, you would be as part of that joint, as part of that task force, you probably would be leaning on your NSA contacts. That's why you're in the, it's your cover. So yeah, if you just want to contact the NSA, you pick up the phone and call the NSA. But is that really what you want to do?
Right.
Okay, if we're going to specifically look for one of the attacks, I think the one that happened on the campus of Mosul University would probably be the best one to have access to cameras. Plus, there were survivors and 2 people vanished from there. If we can figure out what happened to them, that may give us some information.
Okay, I'd say it's a good target.
Okay, so just straight up calling the NSA then.
I mean, I don't see how he can SIGINT into Mosul to get the intel from where he's sitting without some other resource.
Like the NSA?
Like the NSA.
No, I mean, it's just if you want to call your boss and let them know where you're at. You know what I mean? Do you want to contact? That's up to you. figuring out somebody circumspectly on the ground near you, that's one thing. He said it's just bureaucracy. What's his bureaucracy score?
50.
Oh yeah, no. Like if you want to contact and run something up the chain, 50 is more than enough to do that without even a roll. You're just contacting your bosses.
But contacting your bosses, they know that you're on a top secret JSOC joint task
depends on what your
force.
question is.
No, I don't think it does. If they're out of the loop, they're out of the loop. I need access to these assets. You put me here. I can't tell you what's going on.
Sure, but you say, hey, I want to talk to a guy, and that guy ends up dead 2 weeks later.
Nobody's dying. We didn't say anything about dying.
You weren't bombing a building either. After Ninja. So no, like I said, you can call up the chain. That's easy enough to do.
Yeah, I mean, call up the chain. Like, I don't know what it is you're wanting me to ask, because you obviously have specific things that you guys are thinking about. I don't necessarily want to.
Well, I mean, is it out of the realm of of possibility that the NSA just has access to the Mosul infrastructure?
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I don't know that he would know. The NSA would be interested in that.
Yeah.
So would a lot of people.
Dan's doing something. He's accessing the Mosul infrastructure right now.
How hard is it to access servers in Mosul? What he's doing is he's getting my Wi-Fi pinged yet again by the actual NSA, who hopefully listens to this and be like, yeah, those guys aren't fucking worth anything.
Yeah.
We
might be their favorite podcast.
All we can see is just Gene Hackman go, you have something they want.
Hey, even the professionals have downtime, so they could very well be listening to this podcast.
That is such a good movie.
I rewatched that not long ago. It
Is it still good?
It is still good.
Brady, you should put that as your notation whenever you do a team's list.
That's awesome. Just Gene Hackman screaming at me from somebody else at work. You have something they want.
I really miss Gene Hackman.
Best Lex Luthor. So yeah, no, if you want to call up the chain, Dan, and just see how it goes, you can just ask some questions and we can sort of role play it out, and I'll see what your actions evolve into. I like the idea. It's usually using assets that you already have. So
yeah, we'll make a bureaucracy roll for him.
oh, you don't need, like I said, calling your bosses is not hard. I think I think Jeff's absolutely accurate. Who are you calling? I don't imagine there's a name on there, but we should just write a name down.
Does it give specifics on who he works for in the NSA, like department?
Special Operations Readiness Cells.
I don't know what the fuck those are, but it sounds important.
Yeah, they're
Special
basically
Operations
sleepers.
Readiness Cells?
They're basically intelligence sleeper cells. They absorb everything intel around them for a given terrain and region, and then just sit and wait for action.
There you go.
I think in the Iraqi war, it was called Project Iraqi Bridge or something that the NSA actually went and did.
Really?
They literally just enhanced the battlefield.
Dan, you are a wealth of interesting information.
What'd you do, Dan?
We're going to call the NSA. We got to figure out a name of who we're...
Yeah, just a name since we're kind of going off script here.
Gene Hackman.
Let's do Roy Hackman.
You can do... all right, sure. Let's write it down so we can create our own mythos here.
Gene Royman.
Gene Royman.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you write that?
Okay, I need something to write with. As you do this, though, I just want you to know that at some point you have to yell, "Damn it, Roy." Okay, it is required, and it has to be like, "Damn it, Roy." Okay,
So yeah, yeah, I would appreciate that.
Yeah. We'll give you a backstory eventually.
You said who's making the call? What's the character's name? Which character?
Al-Jabiri. Okay, Roy Hackman.
Al-Jabiri calls NSA supervisor Roy.
It's either say "Damn it, Roy," or you have to throw your sword up in the air while it's flipping and jump up and grab it and come down. One of the two.
I think we'll go with the Damn It Roy.
Fucking Roy. All right. Yeah. You make the appropriate time call at the right time, whatever you have to do. I don't know if maybe he's stationed somewhere in Europe or regionally appropriate, but
He could just be back at Baghdad in Baghdad.
I want to put him a little bit more distant than that, just for I don't want him that regionally locked.
In the same time zone.
Yeah. He's generally in the same time zone to make things a little easier on you guys. But
Okay.
Got you.
yeah, this is Hackman.
Technical Sergeant al-Jabiri here, sir.
al-Jabiri, how's it going? I heard from you in a bit.
Yeah, been busy. This JSOC that I'm on is very active.
Sure. No, it seems like it.
I'm in the Mosul region at the moment.
Okay.
Needing to track down our assets here, specifically for the purposes of SIGINT into Mosul. We're having a hard time infiltrating.
Give me a second. You can kind of hear some clickety clacking. I might be able to set you up with some contacts. Are you looking to speak to someone locally, or like, are you in the region and want to touch base, or you just need a name and a number?
I need someone locally, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we need access to the infrastructure.
Where can I reach you? Where do you want me to direct them to? What name and number? Where can I find you at? What are your deets?
Yeah, I would provide the information for the base. And
Sure. Let me do some digging. I will see if I can get some folks in touch with you.
I appreciate it.
Say I don't have any eyes on anything like that. But there might be somebody in the area who can help. That's in the agency.
Okay. I don't know what type of I know Mosul's probably got a Department of Transportation, but I don't know what state it's in right now. So
I need a drive check from Captain Dan or Warner.
Okay. So are these two not going to go with them?
those two went to
The refugees. Okay.
Yep. And then they're going to look at the river.
Got ya.
They're not doing any fancy driving.
Yeah, but I need either a drive or a navigate just to see how the fuck you do.
Drive or a navigate?
I think Dan's got a decent navigate.
They both do. They're both within one.
Oh no, it says actually you need both.
Tell while you drive and whether or not you're driving in the right direction.
Got the drive, and the navigate made it.
Okay.
43 under 52.
You take your burned out ISIL truck, and you have your little I forget what the hell it is. Your
The
signal
beacon
so that
thing?
they don't fucking, cruise missile you from altitude or whatever. Some asshole just doesn't light you up with a 50 cal machine gun off of his helicopter as he goes by. Just for shits and giggles. Yeah, you make it back to Rassam's. It's fucking decimated. It is goddamn leveled.
That's not what decimated means.
Because it would only be a tenth of... Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Got it.
Annihilated.
Annihilated would have been a good term. Fucking...
Sorry.
The building is on the ground, Jeff. It is in pieces.
Well, it's always on the ground.
If it were in the air, I would make a sand roll.
Make a sand roll.
What would you like to do, Jeff?
Check out the
You just
what's
got the
left of
ejector
the
seat look I got earlier this morning.
check out the what's left of the pool, because that should be pretty much away from the house.
Correct. But
Didn't you say that
Captain
the
Dan,
entirety of like the orchard was just entirely
I was
fucked?
gonna say Captain Dan. What he has what is the military role?
He's got military science.
Yeah,
Yeah, which military science does he have?
land at 60.
The land is fucked up pretty seriously. Like whatever hit this was a lot of missiles. Like the orchard is gone. Like the building is leveled.
Okay. Are there any signs of traffic since the explosion?
Forensics, I believe, is a skill, right?
Not one these guys have.
Well, I don't know what would be better.
Survival?
Warner doesn't have any forensics?
No.
No, I
Both
think
at 0.
forensics is probably the best role. You could
Tracking
survival check.
would be survival.
I understand that, but I think that you're trying to knowing which ones were like say you're looking for tire tracks. There would be tire tracks.
The ones that aren't scorched.
There's been a lot of people at this site.
What's the survival rolls?
How many people did we have to kill the other day?
27.
27.
They both have 50.
Okay, that's a high enough. I will allow a survival roll.
Oh, a roll?
Yeah, that's the part where you toss the numbers on the dice. Jeff.
Pass. 21 under 50.
There are definite signs of a truck, maybe more, leaving this site after the bombing.
Coming and going, or just leaving?
It looks like something came and then went.
Okay.
That would be identifiable.
Yeah, you may not be able to identify. Like at first, you're looking at
Well, 'cause
pieces of truck and building and everything
You
else.
would have
and then-
charred ground that would then get freshed up by a truck coming over.
Correct.
Yeah, I would also assume that like the concussive nature of the explosions would probably completely blow out any tracks anyways that were previous.
Okay, so then has the pool been dug up?
No.
Okay.
There is a significant portion of house and orchard sort of tossed about. So there is no easy access.
Yeah, we do want access. We need to look for that.
Is there still a backhoe on its side?
Oh yeah, we'll just flip that over.
Yeah.
There are pieces of backhoe. Some of them could be on their side.
I found a bucket.
There's a piece of the bucket over there. There's a piece of a track thrown over there. I don't know what a carpet bombing looks like, but I bet it's pretty...
It wouldn't be a carpet bombing. It would be
They would have been bunker busting missiles, probably though. And if they don't hit a bunker, they will bust the ground.
right.
A lot of shit was thrown around and on fire.
Yeah.
It was a pretty nasty scene. But yes, essentially for mechanic purposes, someone came and then left.
Right.
The bunker is currently inaccessible. So those are the things you have confirmed.
Okay. Anything else you want me to do while I'm here?
It sounds like we don't have the means to get into the chamber. So
Yep. Okay.
Wonder where the hole in the top of the chamber came out. And if it's part of the foundation, if that foundation is cracked enough that maybe you can ride a rope down into it.
Captain Dan is going to follow the directions that he went in above ground.
Sure.
Something back that direction has to have that that extra opening for the air.
So Captain Dan would realize this even if Jeff does not. When Hastings and Captain Dan were in there, they heard a concussive grenade go off basically above their head.
That's right.
That bunker, the actual part of the bunker was under the house.
Okay. Shit.
Well, you could also go...
It may not even be there anymore.
It may not, but if you're able to pick over some of the rubble in the house, I mean,
Right.
you'd be able to find out real quick whether or not it got opened up.
Yeah. Well, we'll check out the house. I mean, is there a giant crater down into it?
I don't think so. I don't think it would have destroyed the house and thrown rubble and shit everywhere. So I
But
think
it's a surface blast, not
Correct.
penetrating.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You would think that you don't know that it's intact, but you're not seeing the ground has not ripped up and exposed it.
Okay.
Now the building could have collapsed on top of it and you couldn't see that.
Well, no, because if it had broken into it, there would be a further depression.
It's not but it's not that big. There's a lot more house than there is.
But the house
Underground
was on top
bunker.
of it. Now, if it was nothing on top of it and that missile hit it, it could have done some damage to the chamber. But
Yeah.
the house took the brunt of it.
I mean, it was basically a bomb shelter, so I mean, it is designed to survive literally this.
Yeah. Plus, it's not like the CIA knew that he was potentially in a bunker.
True.
Well, that even more confirms that we are going to have to come up with a different containment vessel.
Yes.
Unless we're pulling a whole bunch of heavy ass machinery out here.
Tupperware. It contains many gross and horrific things, that Tupperware.
Hey, we'll saran wrap the bitch if we have to.
Come here, you son of a bitch.
Hopefully, we'll get a better idea of what kind of containment vessel we need to prepare once we get through more of the research.
I mean, Hastings should have a good idea that with all her knowledge of the end, what is it that she has?
Occult and unnatural.
Unnatural. Like the spatial dimensions of that, I don't think it really matters on the outside. Maybe I'm wrong, but...
Well, the cap isn't what caused that spatial dimension.
Right.
So the magic, doesn't create that TARDIS effect. All you have is the seal to keep it from coming out. So I don't know that we're necessarily going to be able to create what you think we're going to be able to create anyway.
Okay.
So that brings up the question, do we need to get the M4 out? Because if we do, we might as well get them to work on it right now.
I don't think we'll know until we get through more of the research.
I think that's fair. Not to mention there isn't a lot that they could do other than sifting some rubble. Even with the truck and say you had a rope,
Right.
it's going to be excavating equipment will likely be needed.
Okay. Is there more of a tie to Greece through the amphora than has been alluded to yet?
I don't know how to answer that question.
Like it's got Akkadian writing on it,
Correct.
but it's a Greek amphora.
I don't know that I would say it's for sure a Greek amphora.
Okay.
It's an amphora. I don't know where you're coming up with specifically that it would be Greek.
Because amphorae are Greek.
I mean, the term is, pottery is universal, but
Right. But the the style of container.
Wasn't it also brass?
I honestly don't remember what it was made of.
Bronze.
Bronze?
A tall, ancient Greek or Roman jar with 2 handles and a narrow neck.
So it could be from Italy.
It's sounding like there's
I've
more
never heard
importance
that.
on the vessel, though, that I didn't give it credit to.
Yeah.
Amphorae were sometimes used as grave markers or as containers for funeral offerings or human remains. I've
Because
never
if we
heard that.
need it to contain this Father of War, then I would have pulled that bitch out with as many
Yeah.
people as I needed to make it pull it out with.
Yeah. That space thing is. Yeah, you need to think of that amphora as more like a portal from deep space.
So that's separate magic other than the Elder Sign.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that has more to do with what was contained in it than what was containing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I stumped him.
No, I'm just looking to see if there's anything that I can credit you for. Like, I don't think it's a bad question. I don't think it's a bad connection. As you might imagine, as I'm searching amphora in this book, there are a lot of mentions of the amphora throughout the book. So,
Control F. No, not this one. No,
Next.
not this one.
Next.
Next.
well, I'm looking to see.
Another thing that I was thinking about possibly we could do is drum up more cash. And I wondered if we could do
Drug smuggling.
a criminology role or maybe accounting. I didn't know if that would be like I'm trying to stretch for roles to do things and I'm not sure exactly what the mechanics are.
It's a war zone, so commodities are in high demand.
Was it you who were saying something about Hastings with finding essentially fences for those idols?
No, that was Jeff.
Got you.
But
Yeah, Hastings could put him in touch with private collectors that she knows.
There is nothing that I would say. You have enough historians who saw and looked at it. I don't think that there is anything that would lead you to believe that it is inherently Greek.
Okay.
It's an amphora because it's shaped like an amphora. There aren't
I mean,
Greek
there-
symbols. There
yeah.
aren't Greek.
There would have been amphorae in Turkey and
Right, yeah. There's nothing that immediately connects. You're like the Narcotic manuscripts, Greek. Like, I get the connection. I don't think that there's anything that would lead any of the characters specifically to that connection other
Okay.
than the fact that an amphora is
traditionally Greek.
correct, yes.
So they're not traditionally made of bronze, are they?
Was the one in the bomb shelter made of bronze?
Yes.
Okay. No, traditionally they'd be
just clay,
They'd
right?
be clay.
Because I just wanted to check some things, so. I think that's all your characters for the day, right?
it is.
Yep.
We'll roll on to the next day then.
Yeah, I really can't think of anything else, any other angle we can work right now. I keep feeling like we're missing something, though. I think we're meant to feel that way at this point, but
Yeah, I think we're finally hitting the point where we're going to find out information to point us in a direction. And we're still
Well-
not there yet.
yeah, I mean, this is definitely a very sandboxy part.
I think the entire thing's a sandbox.
I hope not, 'cause that'd be hard. But I think I like the way they're doing it because it depends on how much you delve into this sandbox section. Then that determines how the next section.
So at this point, Rubini is able to be used because he's waiting on information from the NSA.
yep, those two are out in the field.
Baghdad team.
Is that correct?
What?
Like Al Rabini would be available to do stuff now because he's waiting for information.
He's at the base. Yeah.
Or does it remove him
Let me look.
as he's trying to drum it up?
Let me double check the rules. I think that technically it'd still be.
Okay.
Like I said, I want to kind of play it the way that it's written.
And then Jennifer and Landry were going to investigate the river after the refugees, but that's probably the next day, I would imagine. Then were the Cowboys the only source of information for the Elder Sign?
Yes.
So that's dead.
Unless you can sweet talk the handler.
I think it does take him out for a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Realistically, I played it as if you just picked up the phone and whatever, but it would take him some time to arrange that.
Right.
So he had to, let's do this. Oh, he's here. Let's contact this person.
I just assumed he wouldn't be able to do anything the rest of the day, and then like the next day he'll be able to.
Well, there's some rolls for how long it takes you to make contact and then rolls to see what your results are and everything else. So
Got ya.
I'm going to say he's out for a day or so, and then that conversation technically happens like tomorrow night or whatever. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Indisposed.
Correct. Do you want to start with the Baghdad team then? Because I know that that's something that you're doing.
Sure.
Okay. Hastings arrives in Baghdad with Olsen and Kasim. Are you going right to the director of acquisitions? Because you did make a friend there, sort of.
That's the person you talked to about possibly donating the tablets to afterwards, right? Yeah.
That is correct.
He wanted some information before he was going to get his team to do any research. He wanted something credible, like an exchange of goods or something.
Right. So, like bringing these tablets in here.
So I say 8 cases of tablets.
I understand that. I didn't know if you were going to, if that was your approach.
Well, if we're wanting his team to help us research this and speed it up, then yes.
Sure. Yeah, no, if that's what you want to do, absolutely.
That's fucking hilarious. But
What?
okay, would we march in and give a team of a dozen people something that we don't know what is in it?
Oh,
That's why I was asking before. I
you
just
mean
assumed
that they
was
already
what
have a copy of?
Some of it. We don't know which parts they don't have.
The people in Britain aren't insane, so we should be fine, right? They've got it even digitized.
No, there's definitely a question of, do we burn it like here? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking before. I just assumed what you're doing. You've arrived in Baghdad.
Hey, worst case scenario. Okay, we just call in another target.
The Museum of Baghdad.
Yeah. And we give a name of somebody high up.
I don't think the CIA is going to tomahawk missile.
I think poor Baghdad's been through enough at this point.
It could get worse.
Contrary to the song "Bombs Over Baghdad," I don't think that the CIA is going to toss a cruise missile in there.
Come
for
on,
shits and
Irene.
giggles.
I tell you, I saw him. I saw him.
You send a shitty Photoshop picture that serendipitously has today's newspaper in front of you or something. So yeah, and that's why I was curious how you're going to play it. Like, you can walk in with just those 8 cases if you really want to, or you could set up a hotel room and go back and forth and do your research here and do, but you are going to expose people to who knows what the fuck's in there too.
What do you want to do? Do you want to do our own initial investigation and then take what we feel is safe for them to dig into?
All right. So our objective is containment of this issue.
Correct.
We can't do that without this intel. So I'm not worried about this containment. I'm worried about that containment.
I mean, if it comes down to it,
We got a team of mercs that can.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
containment of 12 nerds is not that hard. We can handle 12 nerds.
So yeah, I say let's entice the museum, make whatever deal they want, and let's get as many eyes on this as we can.
Yeah. And document every person who's working on it.
Yes.
Okay, so what are we doing, Jeff?
Why are you looking at me? I'm not the only one here.
Because you usually play Hastings.
Yeah, we'll take it to the museum. We will set up our own workspace somewhere else through a hotel or whatever.
Sure.
But we will work with them. Anything that we find while we're working with the museum that we know is like vector grade shit, we will get out of there and take back to our private workspace.
Let's just make the stipulation that Hastings is the lead researcher on this endeavor.
Dr.
Yes.
Hastings, you've returned to the museum.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to see you again.
Yeah, how you doing, bud?
Director Al-Mirza is what I gave. Nadir Al-Mirza.
She calls him Bud.
That's fine.
Bro.
Yes, I'm glad to see you back. What can we do for you?
She will pull out a tablet and start going through images of tablets.
Interesting. Where did you get these?
A private collection from a family in the area.
Yard sale.
Snuck them out right under ISIL's nose.
Acadian?
Do you happen to know what a garage sale is?
It was a fire sale.
Interesting.
I'm thinking this might add to your collection of the winds unknown to a Dodd.
The price drop
It's
was
definitely
explosive.
the right period. Interesting.
But frankly, there's a lot of it, and we could use some help cataloging it.
Okay. Do you have the tablets in your possession, or do you just have images?
We have the tablets in our possession.
Fascinating. Yes, the museum would be quite interested in being able to cross-reference another version of Winds Unknown to a Dad, to potentially date them to see which ones comes earlier or later, to cross-translate. Yeah, and he's like getting very excited. Like, yes, this is very exciting. If you
Now, I will throw out the caveat. This is a private collector's collection.
Sure.
It's not necessarily coming to the museum,
of course,
but you will be able to document, you will everything.
of course.
Later on, there may be something we can work out with the family, but they have at least granted us access to it to document.
Are you bringing us photos to research, or are you going to bring physical tablets in?
Physical tablets.
Okay. Make me a luck roll, Jeff.
Hi. Fuck.
I don't have a lot of people that would specialize in this, but I can provide a space, access to computers if you desire, and I can provide an assisting researcher who could help document. I rolled a die. You got really unlucky on my number, Jeff.
Yeah, I guess.
Roll a D4 for how many people are going to help.
Could have done. Yep.
You only got a 1, big guy.
Yep.
I know the sound of that die roll.
If he had passed his luck roll, it may have been a bigger die.
Yeah. Still would have rolled a 1 though.
Hey, that's the way the pyramid tumbles, Jeff.
Yeah.
That ain't the way to have fun, son. That ain't the way to have fun, son.
Our title track, Mama Told Me Not to Come, composed by friend of the podcast Ian Shannon, with additional vocals by Lucas Patterson and Cody Grady. You can find more of Ian's work at sleepfortheweary.com. Like what you heard? Check out more episodes online at rancorsbrothel.com, YouTube, or anywhere you can download podcasts. Enjoy talking nerdy? Follow the podcast with other listeners on the Fans of the Rancors Brothel Facebook page. Most of all, keep circulating the tapes. Much love, everybody.
It is, I don't want to see. Mama told